What is good, y'all? It's Jay Coffee on the vid. Thanks for tuning back in, guys. Got some more hip hop news, a hip hop blog for everyone. Make sure to get up in them comments. But you see, we're talking about Rick Ross and Lloyd Banks. Like, I'm kind of lost on this one, so I definitely need you guys to get up in the comments. But it's like kind of out of nowhere, in my opinion. Rick Ross is taking shots at Banks on a couple different occasions. Like, I guess I'm a little late on this one, as he originally started clowning on Banks like maybe a week ago or so, but then he decided to just do it again a few days later. Now, me, you know what I mean? If you follow my channel, you know I rock with Banks heavy. I consider the Banks to be one of the dopest in the game. He just never really got to get his shine on like he was supposed to, and I just did a video yesterday about G-Unit, where 50 Cent was saying he'd rather forget about G-Unit, and I just don't like seeing Banks in this, kind like being did like this. I don't like that they're doing Banks like this. Fifth and him, I don't know what exactly happened between them, but Banks is on his own, and in the shadows, I guess we'll say, not in the forefront of hip hop like he should be. And then now we got Rose clowning on him. And I don't know. I don't like it. Like, you guys, let me know your thoughts. It could possibly be, that Rick Ross is still mad about Officer Down, right? I mean, a lot of fans I see all the time in threads, message boards, all that for years, feel that out of all the music that went back and forth between 50, Rick Ross, G-Unit, Maybach, Officer Down was the hardest track out of all of them. That Banks humiliated Ross on the mic, on wax, on the record. Like, you guys let me know what you think about that. I mean, we know Rick Ross is almost as petty as 50 Cent in a way. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe after all these years, he's still mad about how Banks got at him. It could be. But let's go over these, posts that Rick Ross threw at Banks.
Music for 1 second. We just having us some hip hop shit, right? We discussing Lloyd Banks right now. One of my homies just said he never really stopped being a Lloyd Banks fan. So I said, look, I hit the blunts once. I came up with a dope title, Lloyd Banks' next LP or EP, Victim of Circumstance.
Now, you see that video, that was the more recent one, that clip. I'm sorry, I just shared the audio with y'all. He's saying victim of circumstance, like it's funny to him, that Banks is a victim. His circumstances weren't never right. I don't know, at the end of the day, is disrespectful, but I mean, it is what it is, and the other shot that he took at him like a week ago or so, y'all are probably already up on that he was telling him he'll give him $5,000 for his name or whatever. And I don't know, Banks told him, I'll never join the circus, but peace and love to you. Like, I like that. That's a slick response, calling it a circus. At the end of the day, like, hey, we still think you're a clown. I don't know, like, we already know the deal with Rick Ross. He's an actor, he stole his persona from someone else, and as an entertainer, as an actor, made music in this image and everything of the real Rick Ross, and it is what it is. You guys can let me know your thoughts on that, but it's just strange that he all of a sudden starts taking these shots at Banks. As a fan of hip hop and following everything that went on, I feel like Banks and 50 do have some tension, even though we don't see it put out there all the time from the things that transpired. I don't know, it just feels like Fifth and Banks ain't cool like they used to be. I mean, and we know this to a degree. It's been talked about the funeral, Banks' father's funeral or whatever. And, there was word, too, that Fifth was mad at Banks back when he ended up taking that picture with the game. But, I mean, at the end of the day, now, back then, he went on a rant saying, how you going to take this picture Lodi Mac lost his life during this beef, etc. But now Fifth and Game are cool, so I don't know. But it seems to go deeper than that, and I do feel like 50 still holds a grudge against Banks. But what's strange about it is Fifth and Rick Ross recently seem to kind of somewhat possibly be squashing their beef. Rick Ross was kind of being sarcastic or whatever. If you recall, Fifth wanted to use the BMF track, get it cleared by Rick Ross for his BMF series or biopic series or whatever it is that he's putting out. And, we know Fifth and Rick Ross beef was a beef that will probably never be squashed. I think it's the closest thing to the Ja Rule beef that 50 has, and then we know BMF members have kind of came home now, and there was word that they were involved in trying to mediate this. And, Rick Ross even kind of gave 50 Cent a shout out by saying that he was just listening to Hate It or Love It the other day. But then he said, you got to go buy a 10-piece lemon pepper or whatever and go take a video with it or something like that. And then we'll clear the song. I don't know. You know what I mean? He was kind of clowning around, but it seemed like maybe there was some kind of common ground between 50 Cent and Ross. And then now all of a sudden, a month or two later, he's dissing Lloyd Banks. Like, it's just strange to me, And some people might be like, oh, Coffee, you're thinking of this too hard. You're over analyzing this. Nah, man. This man is trying to clown Banks. I got 5K for you for your name. I'll use it as another one of my personas. We should call your album Victim of Circumstance. Like, he's trying to, clown on him, period. And it's just kind of bizarre and strange to me. Like, what is this about? Like I said, it's just kind of strange that him and Fifth seem to kind of possibly work something out. And then now he's dissing Banks. Like, I don't know. Do you guys think there's any kind of connection there or something like that? I don't know, but Banks ain't trying to join the circus. Now, something else that I want to point out that's interesting to me is, as we know, G-Unit's been just kind of dead, like I covered in my blog that I did yesterday, as far as the group, the label, whatever, you know what I mean? Only person repping G-Unit, and I don't even really know if he is anymore actively making music, was Uncle Murder. But, so we didn't know what it's like between all the former G-Unit artists, and we see Yayo and Banks, like, Banks is promoting Yayo, the Yayo store that's coming soon. So, that's interesting to see there. And I don't know, I'm kind of starting to wonder, guys, like, could this be, this is probably, I am probably overthinking it when I say this, but could this be some kind of just promo all around, like, where Fifth, like last time in 2013 when we seen the G-Unit reunion, right? They were just, Fifth had took shots at them. He put it out there through the media and it got picked up by all the blogs where he called Yayo and Banks like spoiled milk. They passed their expiration date. It's, they're expired. And then, not long after that is when we saw the G-Unit reunion. So, I mean, could we be seeing something like that where, he's talking about them, that, that like I said, I'll share the link to that video. I'll pin it in the comments here, though, that when he was asked by Who Kid just the other day, what about the G-Unit movie, the biopic, will we ever get it? He was like, I'd much rather forget about it. I'd much rather forget about G-Unit. I mean, could he be taking shots at them to really try to do some other kind of comeback? I don't know. I don't think so. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing it out there, trying to think about this thing from every angle, but I don't know, like what's really going on here? Did 50 and Rick Ross squash their issues? Are they working that out more behind the scenes? And where and why does Banks fit into this all of a sudden that Rose's taking shots at him on multiple occasions? Is he still mad about Officer Ricky? Because Banks kind of did ether him on that one, I don't know. Or is there more to this? Like, what's your guys' thoughts on all this? Make sure to get up in them comments, sub to the channel, hit the notification bell. It's Jay Coffee Talk. Thanks for watching, you guys. Daily videos, music, news, sports, current events, life, and much more. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.